All right, what's happening, everyone? Before I get started today, some special thanks are in order. First off, I want to thank Timmy the Fuck for becoming an official patron, and also got to thank Kevin McLaughlin and Chongo Blongo for becoming all access patrons, and also got to thank Tom and Jake Richards, and of course Steel City Blacksmithing for signing on and becoming VIP patrons. And last but not least, my motherfucker Terry Shanks signed up as a producer for the show. So big shout out to everybody. And if you don't know what I'm talking about and you dig this show, you should check out Patreon, patreon.com/Big Truth. It is a way to support the podcast. It's as simple as that. There's 4 different tiers of patronage that you could choose from $5 to $50. And when you sign on to that, you get access to all kinds of special privileges, discounts, exclusive content, exclusive podcasts that I'll be recording soon that will only be available to Patreon subscribers. Yeah, and just cool shit and heads up on who's coming on first, the exclusives and sneak peeks, all kinds of shit. So check it out, patreon.com/Big Truth. Get on there and support if you dig what we're doing here. It helps me grow the podcast, keep it going, and expand it and do radder shit for you guys in the future. With that said, I also got to shout out manscaped.com. Now, you've been hearing, these guys have been sponsoring for a little while, so you know the deal, man. If you got if it looks like a fucking, a bomb went off in a barbershop down there, you really need to get the Lawnmower 3.0, which is a razor with these skin-safe ceramic blades that let you go to town down there and clean up all your parts that jingle and hang around. And what it does is it is a scientifically backed ball razor. Let's not pull no punches and talk around it. So you can clean up your grundle, your balls, your hairy shaft, or if you're a complete fucking animal, and anything around it. You can also, use it on other body parts, and you can go to it with reckless abandon and not have to worry about cuts, scrapes, abrasions, whatever. And if you check them out right now, they got a special deal going on. They got this thing called the Perfect Package that comes with a Lawnmower 3.0 razor and also all kinds of other ball care products. So it's a deeply discounted package, and it makes a good gift too. So check them out, manscaped.com. At checkout, if you use the promo code Big Truth, you will get 20% off your entire order and free shipping. So even if you order one of those perfect packages that are already discount, you get another fucking 20% off of that. So check it out, manscaped.com, promo code Big Truth at checkout, and you will get 20% off your order and free shipping. You also want to check out Law Tigers if you are a motorcycle rider and have been in an accident. You can check them out at lawtigers.com. They're a law firm that help bike riders in these circumstances, and it's a law firm founded by motorcycle riders for motorcycle riders. So check them out, lawtigers.com. If you go to Facebook, you can put Law Tigers in and also the name of your state. So here in Massachusetts, we'd go on Facebook and look for Law Tigers Massachusetts, and then the local Massachusetts office will come up, and then you can get in touch with someone more locally. So check them out, lawtigers.com. Chop Cult is a online resource for motorcycle riders and chopper builders. They got a huge blog and a message board that's super active, tons of members, broken up by subject. So if you want to get information on Jap choppers or American restorations or whatever, you know what I mean? It's all there, and it's broken up by topic, so you can find it easily. They also have a weekly email list where they, send you all kinds of information right to your email. They have an online swap meet area where you can buy and sell and hit someone up and try and trade for parts. They usually get some pretty cool shit on there. Someone selling something rad. And they have a resource so you can check out motorcycle related events all across the world. So check them out at chopcult.com. And the best part about it is membership is absolutely free. So it costs you nothing to sign up. They don't ask no credit card information or any sketchy things like that. So you don't got to worry about being bothered or having to shut shit off. But yeah, chopcult.com or on all social media, simply at chopcult. Omerta is a clothing brand that's run by a couple friends of mine, and you need to really check them out. They're based out of Los Angeles. They make all kinds of fucking rad shit, whether it's t-shirts, hoodies, scarves, jackets, whatever, man. Socks. They got all kinds of shit, man. Really good messages and a real old school feel. So you can check them out at omertamia.com, which is OMERTAMIA.com. On Instagram, Facebook at omertamia. But yeah, check them out, omertamia.com. And again, once again, you use the promo code BIGTRUTH at checkout, you'll get 20% off your order with them. Holidays are coming up. So you know what? If you can save 20%, you can get more shit for more people and throw something in for yourself, and it'll probably be free if you're buying enough, right? So check them out, omertamia.com, promo code BIGTRUTH at checkout, 20% off your order. And you want to check out Pitchfork. My boy Warren, who was a guest on here and an old friend, has been doing this clothing company and record label for a while, for years. And he's very well known on the hardcore and metal and punk rock scene. So check them out, pitchforkny.com, all kinds of streetwear. They also have a record label where they do these limited run 7 inches that have an East Coast band on one side, a West Coast band on the other. It's the Back to School series, bands like Rancid, Murphy's Law, Sick of It All, Sworn Enemy, The Eulogy, all kinds of shit, Count Time, Thug Riot, it's a good series, man. There's always good shit on it. So check them out, pitchforkny.com or on Instagram at pitchforkny, short for Pitchfork, New York. All right. Chop Ahead is my shop. You might be familiar with it. You might not. If you are not, and you are not in the New England area, then go ahead and go to chopahead.com. And check us out. If you are in the area, we're a brick and mortar motorcycle shop with a showroom, a parts counter, an area for moto wares and gear and swag. So you can come on in. We're at 13 County Road, East Freetown, Massachusetts. And I got a bone to pick with some motherfuckers. I get people ordering shit online, and I'm not complaining. I really do appreciate everyone's order. But if you're living in the same town or the next town over, like, why are you making me ship shit to you? Just come over, come hang out. This is a full service brick and mortar shop. It's cool. I welcome you to come in, try shit on, whatever. But yeah, so we got all kinds of swag and apparel online. We have parts, and we work on your Harley, anything from an oil change to a full chopper build and everything in between. So check us out, www.chopahead.com. Instagram is at chopahead, and Facebook is Chop Ahead Customs, custom spelt with a K. And Chop Ahead is spelt in the Mass Holy Way, which is CHOPPAHEAD. BigTruthPodcast.com, finally. If you want to get more information on the show, just go there. All the episodes are up. And again, I definitely appreciate it if you subscribe and, spread it word of mouth, tell your friends and family and whoever, or post it up on social media. Just get the word out, so we can grow this thing. But yeah, bigtruthpodcast.com, and wherever you get your podcast, make sure you subscribe, leave a message, leave a review. And yeah, you can email me off the website if you got any show ideas or feedback or rants and raves, whatever. But check it out. We got a new episode starting right the fuck now.
The Big Truth Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready!
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have a liftoff.
Yes, once again, we have liftoff. I want to thank you all for listening to another episode of the Big Truth Podcast. Again, we're broadcasting live from the counter here at Chopperhead Custom Cycles in Freetown, Massachusetts. And I'm stoked to have my boy M. Dot here with me. You might know him from the Boston music scene, or you might know him from, especially if you're European, from his relentless days of touring. What's happening, man?
Appreciate you having me, brother.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Fucking, I mean, how's it going, man? I know, like you said, you've made, made your bones as like a traveling, touring musician, and I know we're in the midst of this COVID thing, and it looks like we're about to go into another fucking potential complete lockdown again. How's things going? What have you been up to, man? And what kind of things you've been doing in the meantime, just to kind of make,
Yeah.
just make it, or keep your sanity, fucking, keep things moving, or what?
So the crazy part is, in March, I was in Europe.
Yeah.
This is really dope to do this interview because I haven't really dived into this too much. I was in Germany, or I was in Switzerland with the Beatnuts. We had a show, and this was like March 9th or 10th, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
right before.
But it was
already
in
hitting,
Europe.
yeah.
It was like, I was there literally day to day, like with seeing the numbers jump from, I was in Germany when it was like eight people. You know what I'm saying? And then it was like the next day was like 60. You know what I'm saying? And then like my mother's writing me, my girl's writing me, and like when I flew out there, they were nervous. But this is before we had masks in America or anything. But while I'm there, Italy is starting to get hit. You know what I mean? Like this is still, it's like they're getting shut down.
They got hit the hardest in Europe, right?
At the beginning, I'm pretty sure, I don't know what it's at.
Yeah, sure.
They have a lot of older people, their population, and
it's dense.
And they're exactly.
Population density.
Exactly. I was just gonna say that. They're on top of each other.
Yeah.
But so like I can't even stress to you how, like, I was still kind of like, I've never canceled a show in my life. Like we were just talking about this. I want to be there. I want to show up and keep my word. That's how I'm able to keep getting brought there. I told the promoter I'm coming. They were so happy. They're like, yeah, okay, and as I'm there each day, I'm telling you, it's like I'm seeing it bubble. Like literally, like when you see
around you, yeah,
like double and triple, and people are getting weirder and weirder. Like meaning, but there's no masks and like but at the show, they were thinking about canceling it, the Switzerland show, but they kept it going, and we had to sign something before we went in. And that's when I started to, you know what I mean? Like, well, what's going on,
You're going to sign like waivers in case.
Just even like the people, the people in the crowd and stuff. But again, it really wasn't, I still was like, okay, this is just going to blow over.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest part of this, the story that is when I first arrived and started doing those shows, I in my mind was like, yo, I'll just get this run done and I'll go home.
Yeah.
And
how long was the run supposed to be?
It was like 3 weeks, and this was the first week.
Oh, okay, yeah. So right at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, after those first shows, so now I'm in between shows, and I have to go to Estonia in 2 days. And I had a couple off days where I stayed with my homie DJ Mech, who actually just texted me. I was in Cologne, and the Beatnuts were leaving, and I'm like, oh man, like
quitting the tour, like
they were done. That was the end of their tour. I had caught them at the end of the tour. Okay. By the way, coolest dudes ever, man. Juju, Psycho, man. But anyway, they when I left Switzerland, I'm like, man, they're getting to leave. I was like, not jealous, but I'm like they're getting out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Actually, Juju, I think, stayed in Sweden, but Psycho went home. But their tour was done. So I did those couple of days. I was in Cologne. My homies, the Snow Goons, messaged me and they said that the borders are about to be shut, and they're like, Trump's gonna go on the news, and I forget how I saw it, but before I could do it, I booked a flight home like for the next day, and 2 hours later, sure enough, you could see Trump go on the news, borders shutting, and I found out later that Americans could still come home.
Okay, yeah, but you didn't know.
I was scared. I'm talking like within 1.5 hours, Trump shut the borders, the NBA got shut down, Gobert touched the microphones, like, you know what I'm saying? And then what's it? Tom Hanks had COVID. You know what I mean? Like, and my heart, and I get like, I've never been like I'm always like, oh man, I'll be fine. Like I was just worried to get back to my family.
Sure.
I thought I'd be usurped on the flight, like somebody with more power. Like I thought the next day at the airport, it was going to be like like floodgates. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was the weirdest flight home I've ever had. Like, meaning like I found a seat somehow with nobody next to me, but everyone was really, you know, like it was just, you're looking
on edge.
Yeah.
You didn't want to be the dude sniffling or something.
Yeah. It was, and this was before the mask, and this was before, you know. And I'm telling you, now I'm looking at the phone, and it's like, 300 in Germany. You know what I mean? It was like 63 days ago. You know what I mean, or whatever. And it's like, and it's starting to, like I was so I get home, and I tell my girl to go stay at her mother's, just to keep a little distance, because I didn't know, do I carry it? Is it on me?
Yeah.
Don't touch anything.
And lest we forget, like in the early days of this, like we were just like, and I brought this up before in the podcast, we were being shown all those fucking videos from
Italy.
China with like,
too.
Where just people would like dead on the street and shit, or keeling over and dying, and
The bodies.
So we didn't know what the fuck was gonna happen. You know what I mean? And so I can imagine.
I swear to you, man, like being out of the country, like and I kept on saying my mom was right, like, and I was like, I felt like, damn, man, I should have listened to my mother. And I never forget that going through my head. Like,
why did she tell you not to go?
Don't go.
Yeah.
She always says don't go, but like this time she was like, you do not go. You know what I mean? Like this is, and I'm like, oh ma, I gotta go. It's they've paid for the flights. They're paying me for the shows. I gotta go, and I'm not gonna break my word.
Yeah.
And then I'm not gonna get brought back. I never forget telling Estonia that I'm not going. And he's like, he was so disappointed, not mad. He was just like, oh. And then the next day when I was at the airport, he's like, oh man, like it's bad here. We're up to 50. Like we might have to cancel the show anyway. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
So there's no
hard feelings. They understood. But I'm saying Estonia wasn't taking it serious yet. You know what I mean? Like, so each country was slowly, it was Italy was like the first one in Europe, if I remember, that it started bubbling really bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like every other country was like, oh, that's not going to happen to us, pretty much. And then it did. But so I get to New Jersey. That was the only flight to America, like near me.
Yeah. You're like, I'm in Jersey. Worst comes to worst, I can rent a car.
I rented the car. I don't want to take a bus. I don't want to. Dude, and I'm renting the car. I swear to you, I have they had Sirius, and like every station I switched was like coverage on the COVID.
Yeah.
And they're like, the president's gonna do this speech tomorrow, and we're up to America's now up to 250, and I'm like, and I'm driving, and everything's, dude, it feels like an apocalypto type situation.
It's like 28 days later.
I'm telling you, and I have a whole. I'll tell you some story on the way there, but I'm like, tell my girl go to her mom's. I pull off in like Connecticut. It was like a 6-hour drive, and I stopped in Connecticut, and I got a hotel, and I was like even then, like not touching anything, like just freaked out, what's going on. And I ended up getting home to Logan. I dropped off the car, brother. I took a bus to Salem. I don't even have an Uber app, and I wasn't gonna have my girl pick me up. I didn't want to be around it on anybody. Like everyone was saying that you could bring, you're supposed to quarantine. You bring something. This is before the rules of having to quarantine.
Yeah.
And then I get to Salem, and I walked 12 miles to my house, Doug. I never took it. Well, because I didn't want to get
with 3 weeks of clothes.
Yeah, I left. That's another thing, dog. I had the backpack, and that's right. Oh my God, man! Yeah, I was dragging the luggage. Thank God I didn't take much. Just a backpack and one rolling,
a roller.
But that's brutal, man.
Yeah, 12 miles.
Yeah,
man.
like no joke, man. That I crossed the bridge. So then I got home, and after like 6 days, I couldn't take it, man. My girl was like, we need to see you, and she came home with the kids, and there was no rules of like you have to, or this was like and we've been thankfully healthy and good ever since. But yeah, man, it was, I'm telling you, man, I'm not an anxious person. I was like really,
sure.
I wasn't even like, I didn't think I was going to get sick, but I kept on seeing the news. And then I saw the Rogan podcast. It was while I was there where the dude's like, it's going to be like 200,000. The dude who came on that blew the whole thing up, that he's like, the dude.
Oh yeah.
Yes, man. It was right there during that week. He's like, you're not going to like what I'm going to tell you and stuff. He's like, yeah, what do you think? He's like, it's bad. He's like, he was talking the Spanish flu levels.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, not to be, as dramatic, it really, really was like that. The guy was on the road,
Yeah.
So I couldn't perform, and that's my favorite thing other than being with my family. So then I utilize the time to spend extra time with them, and the lockdown was really good because I never produced before. I started producing, never produced in my life, and now I found a whole nother alternate income and alternate way of like
develop the skill set.
I'm so proud of that, man.
Yeah.
So proud, like not to just be a rapper.
Yeah.
I mean that. Like it was like a monkey on my shoulder. Like I'm like, yo, and man, it has been I did a beat for my homie Benefit and Smith and Wesson. They took a beat, they rapped on a beat. Like this is just like this right off the jump, right off the shoot. 10th beat I made. Like so, like I have an ear for samples, but like the drums, like I've been growing into like getting the patterns good, but like, man, like just, it's been a blessing, a silver lining.
Yeah.
Because I lost 3 tours. I had a tour in July, and it's just no chance, Like,
yeah.
And I haven't even thought about performing. So I found a silver lining with the producing. That's really something I wanted to say is that, like, I utilize the time, and I've had so much extra time with the kids.
Yeah, and that's a fucking message for everyone, listening. That if this second fucking round of shutdowns happen and people are shut down and out of work again, fucking do something to develop yourself. Don't just fucking sit around and play fucking PlayStation 5. I know it just came out. Everyone's all fucking excited and whatnot. And if you got the $2,000 to buy one off eBay, then fucking you better hold on to that because fucking hard times are coming. But yeah, I love hearing that people, like, I know a lot of people that got into some new shit while they're it's whatever it is, like some people just fucking.
You can grow. You
did their house like, I didn't know carpentry. We built a deck or did YouTube. Crazy shit like that.
It's brother. I couldn't. It was like and the fact that I could do it, like meaning like there was like days that it'd be like 12 hours straight learning a new DAW. You know what I'm saying? Like messing with Fruity Loops, and I got an MPD, but I didn't really need much. It's just like it literally is just hearing the sounds and being able to piece them together sonically. It really, and
well, you already have a creative mind, and you got to ear for the music, so it's gonna it's just learning the skill set of how to how to put what's in your head out through the electronic components to make it happen.
So true, man. And so that was. I utilized the time, honestly, and like there was days where we didn't leave the house for like 2 days, and there was times I remember early on when it was like there was like lockdowns where you couldn't even really go out, right? Like I remember that, like you couldn't. There was a couple of weeks where you couldn't.
They were highly discouraging it. For sure.
Like you could go to the grocery store, but like you weren't supposed to like just be, you know what I mean?
Be
like,
out and about,
And then we would walk. That was really something I really enjoyed. I don't care how cheesy it sounds. I loved really getting out with the kids, walking to like, 10-mile walks with them without having the luggage. Of course, the girls my daughters would probably make me carry them half the way anyway. But it was really cool to like just explore and go on trails. We did so many trails. This summer and fall.
Yeah,
trails, dog. Like I love that, man. We're like finding lakes and stuff, like long trails.
I was doing the same thing because my gym once the gym was shut down.
I
was like, all right, Freetown Forest is right over there. It's like 15,000 acres of forest, and
there you go.
I would walk and get lost and try and find my way back.
That was a scary part. I got lost one time with my youngest daughter, my girl. She's probably, she'll be listening to this and she'll, she was, I mean, dog.
All right, here's an exclusive.
I'm talking like, this was like, I got through the forest and then you get to like that area where it crosses over into another forest. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like, there's like, so there's an open area. But like that open area is like in the middle of the two forests, and I'm like, oh my! I was going towards the other side of the like from Topsfield to I forget what the other side of it was, Ipswich or whatever. You know what I mean? And I'm like crossing into another town. And usually I'm savvy with the paths, but it was crazy, man. Like we took a side path and forget about it. You know?
Once you go off path of the main path, then you gotta.
It was wild, and I'm like, I can traverse my way back. But we were walking, and I swear to God, man, we took a side road, and I swear to God, man, I heard like a dog like coming closer to me, like, and like it's rustling through, and I'm looking left, I'm looking right, and like I didn't know where it was coming from, and then I looked, and it just ran past, and I saw like white. I didn't. I didn't know what it was, dog. I think it might have been a coyote, and like it just like it you know, it was in 20 feet of me, but it was so quick that I couldn't really see it if it was somebody's dog in the woods, you know.
Yeah, it could have been a coyote too.
And then and that was it, and I was like, man, I was with my 3-year-old, so I'm like I had to put her on my shoulders. I'm like, I'm gonna have to hit this thing with a log. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I have to keep her off the ground.
Sure, yeah. Yeah,
nature, man.
You get into survival mode.
You've seen Wedding Crashers, right?
Yeah.
Nature or nurture, you know, with the Christopher Walken.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, man, you went right back to caveman. You know, caveman fucking encoded.
My heart was racing again. Yeah. This sounds like too many stories of that, but like, this has been a crazy few months. But I found so much good in it. Me and my girl, she's my best friend. We've had so much we've had so many good memories, just like finding like games to play, you know what I'm saying?
Sure,
like old board games and just like, you know, it's been nice. Those trails have been dope. The beats have been dope, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, man. So what were you gonna say? You said you had a crazy story about the flight over. Okay, the trip over.
I'm glad you circled back because listen, you've seen what's the movie called with Brad Pitt with it's the virus
12 Monkeys.
No, that's a great movie. Terry Gilliam directed that. No, the one with all the zombies.
Z.
Planet Z. Yes, our children. No, Z or something.
Something Z.
Z. Yeah. So they're on the plane. You remember the scene on the plane? Oh yeah, he's peeking through the curtain.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I'm looking. So like if I'm sitting in the end row. So like there's the middle row with the 4, and there's like the 2 on the side and the 2 on the other side on those big planes.
International flight. Yeah.
And I look over to my left, and a little kid who was in the middle, his mom was sitting on the seat, like on the other 2. You know what I mean? He sat in the whole middle row. There wasn't people. And this was like, again, right when you were hearing about it. And brother, you know when you have like, you know, the airplane and it's all like you can't really hear anything, you know what I mean? You could fire it and shit, people don't hear it, you know what I'm saying? Like and I look over, and in slow motion, like I'm like half awake when I'm seeing this. I see this little kid. His mom is asleep, and she's not like paying attention. She's completely knocked out, and he doesn't speak English. He might have been from Turkey or somewhere, whatever, but he's trying to like, and he has his head against the back of the seat, and he's all of a sudden, and he's like probably like 5 seats away from me. I can't believe I'm telling this. Like he looks down and he's just like crying, and I was like, okay, what do I do? I'm looking for one of the stewardesses and stuff. Yo, he starts throwing up on the back of the seat, and nobody sees it. And he's just like, yeah. And like, it's slow motion. It looks like a monster and a zombie, dog. Yeah. No, and he's fine. I just meant like, he's just like putting his stuff all over the back of the plane. I know this is like really like rancid and like, but he's like coughing in slow motion. And I'm just seeing it. And I keep thinking of Brad Pitt looking through the curtain where he's seeing slow motion, the person turn into the zombie. I'm like half asleep looking over to my left. And I'm like, oh my God.
Because you can't see his face. You only see it from behind.
What's happening? He's like pulling out his mother's shirt. She's not waking up. And it's not the throw up. You think he's throwing up like where he's like not even awake, and he's like moving like a zombie. And I'm like, oh my God, the whole plane's gonna like stop, like turn. And I'm like, oh, and his and nobody saw it.
Yeah.
And what am I gonna snitch on the kid? Like meaning like he didn't. Like it wasn't like, you know, what could I say? Like he kind of cleaned it up with his body. Like he didn't like get it. I know it sounds wild, but like he probably would have got in trouble. You know what I mean? And the lady was sitting like right in front of him that he's like basically throwing up on.
Yeah.
It was slow motion. Like I looked to the left. I'm sorry, that's crass, but
no, that's funny.
That shit was, and that was it. That was the bad omen, man.
Yeah.
And he was slow mo, and this kid was sick. Like I'm talking like he had like, you know, like a flu. I don't think he had COVID. But slow motion. Like,
and you're like, fuck off, man. Here we go.
And I wasn't even mad at the kid. I was like, oh my God, like this is it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, you're like, fuck, here it goes.
Yeah.
Where'd you perform in Switzerland? I love Switzerland. I lived in Geneva for a little while.
Geneva, man, that shit.
Yeah.
No, I mean I can't even. I don't even like how expensive Geneva is. But I got.
But that's the thing, man. Is like out here in America, we talk about wealth.
Yeah.
And then you get to Europe, and they're like, you're like, you know what I mean? I mean, besides, like, I'm not talking like Jeff Bezos wealth. I'm just talking about like people you think, well, and then it's like when you get to Europe, and it's like, yeah, my family's run shit for fucking
Yeah.
600 years. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
600 years of developing wealth.
it's-
Fuck you, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like,
Switzerland's like, I mean, that's like, I look for a t-shirt on the way home, and it's like, in 2009, I went, which was crazy to go out there that early, but I was going to be Crumb Snatcher's opener.
yep.
And Crumb couldn't go for whatever reason the day of the flight, so I went with DJ Stress, and we did the show, and I made connections, and I've gone ever since.
Yeah.
Ever since. But when I looked at the to a little store, it was like $35 for a t-shirt for my kid. Like nothing on it, like just a t-shirt.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Little
Like
Swiss flag
might
or
have
some
Swiss.
shit.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So, but the city's so clean. I love Chur, Chur. It's like a little town inside of a mountain, and it's like, dude, it looks like a Viking castle town. It's the most beautiful place I've ever been. It's the oldest town in Switzerland.
So to piggyback off that, and I don't know if this is a Swiss thing.
Yeah.
Like when I was out there, and I would go take the train to Zurich a lot.
Yeah. Zurich.
So when you take the train in Switzerland and you go through the Alps and shit,
Yeah.
I have one of those towns.
Really?
I have. It's called Zug, Zug, and I'm like, I need to make enough money in life so that I can buy a fucking house here.
Yeah.
And because it's like a
It's good
beautiful
motivation.
mountain town in the Alps, small. You know what I mean? Like if I went there, I was probably be unwelcome because it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, cause it's like a small little town in this like base of this mountain, and like it looks like fucking Lord of the Rings shit or something. You know what I mean?
In the way of living, the food, the culture. It's for me. There's nothing better than Europe.
Yeah.
And I would live there. If I didn't have 3 kids, I would live there. I would uproot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I have my other 2 kids with a different relationship, and I wouldn't be able to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
sure.
because I wouldn't. You know, I have to be with my kids.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so. But
Yeah.
like I would live there.
Yeah.
I'm full Italian. My parents. You know, my mother's a citizen of Italy. You know what I'm saying? But like
So you could make a case to get dual citizenship.
yeah,
if you
for
wanted.
sure. She didn't want me to because she was afraid that I'd be called into the army. That's what she said. I swear to God. Like
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
like, because like I think they're still doing it up until like 30 something. I'm like, Mom, I'm older than 30 now. You know, I'll
Yeah,
be
yeah,
good.
yeah.
She's like, you don't want to do that. No, but
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Can you speak Italian?
Can you come into the army? No, can I? Not well. Not.
Yeah.
not-
Imagine that you get drafted
yeah,
into the Italian army, and you that's a fucking that's like some like a Will Ferrell movie or some shit.
That is.
Yeah.
That's a Will Ferrell movie.
Yeah. Hey, we just made. Hey, if anyone makes that movie, just remember we came up with it here. You gotta cut us in as producers.
They're no joke either, man. They have the AKs at the airport.
Oh yeah.
You know, I never forget. I went outside to throw something out, and they were like, both of them on me with the AK, and I'm like, yo, like just throwing something out.
Yeah.
But
but Switzerland's a beautiful country, and it's weird for people that don't know because like half of it is like French,
Yeah.
half of it is German,
correct.
and then there's this weird little part in the middle.
That's their own
that's like their
language.
Creole,
Yes.
which is a mix of like French, German, and Italian, like a mountain language.
This is amazing because you know it all, man. Like meaning like you've been there. This is you know, like Geneva's French, Zurich is Germany.
German, yeah. And it's like the language is just a little different. You know what I mean?
yeah,
like,
for sure.
It's just got more in it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like the German, the Swiss German or the Swiss French is like, it's got more of that in it. That's about it.
It's one of my favorites. And we had a festival there this July. I was so excited for it, but it got shut down. I haven't even thought about shows.
Yeah.
Honest to God.
No, I hear you.
I miss it. I miss traveling.
Yeah.
But I love the time with the kids. And when I would go, I would book it, 8 months, 10 months out. I'd tell my girl, and that's the only time I'd leave. You put in work. Like it's like a system where, like we have a relationship where she knows I'm going that far out. I'm not just bouncing on her like that Martin Lawrence skit, like see ya. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so we have a good relationship like that, and like I'm disappointed. I like the traveling experiences. Like I told you, I travel with Meta.
Yeah.
But
Well, the thing is
I miss that, the camaraderie, the solidarity.
and even the fucking shit that is sketchy at the time when you get back, it's funny. You know what I mean?
Yes.
When you're on the road, especially if you're out there with like some of your boys or the craziness that happens just when you're out there experiencing life. You know what I mean?
I can't even illustrate how it's the best times, some of the best times in my life.
Yeah, and that's why I just get worried with like some of this shit. I know,
Are we gonna go back to that?
Are we going back to that? And what about fucking kids? Like, this is how they're getting programmed. Now they're gonna be scared of fucking everything. They're gonna be scared to go across the street. Never mind fucking get on a fucking
It's sad,
plane and go
dog.
to Europe.
The way you said that, it's so true. Like, yeah.
And that's the thing. I always just try and keep that perspective and bring that up, and especially on podcasts and whatnot. Just you know, it's like I'm not an anti-vaxxer or any of that shit. It's just or an anti-fucking whatever or like a, you know, whatever.
Yeah, we were
It's just,
talking about it before with the mask.
you know, like I'm like pro common sense and I'm pro like monitoring government fucking how government steps on shit because once they take power, very rarely do they take it back and conditioning and not even getting a weird conspiracy shit. But when you got the governor of Massachusetts telling you how many people you can have at your house for Thanksgiving, no, fuck you, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like
I feel you on that.
Like I get it, but like that shouldn't be. This is the problem. Is like that shouldn't be the role of the government to be your parent and tell you what to do and what not to do. Here's some guidelines. You know, you should probably follow these. And guess what? I think at this point, you know, if you got a sick grandmother, don't fucking bring kids around her and don't, you know, like go bring her some food, leave it at the door or some shit. But like, hey, sorry, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? But like, you know, you can't shut down fucking holidays for everybody. You know what I mean? Because you're
especially
worried.
this time of year, man. Yeah, but people, there's a lot of like suicide and shit.
Suicide's already up 200%.
Yeah, like that's people aren't able to. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mean to take a a morose turn here. You know what I mean?
It's it sucks because you're right. We feel like caged animals. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it sucks. I hope it goes back. You know, I miss.
But I think it's on us to make it go back and not let government tell us what to do, what not to do. Now, with the caveat that obviously you got to look out for your neighbor, look out for the best interest of everybody, and not be a douchebag about shit.
That's what I was talking to my homie about too. You know,
you know,
respect someone's wishes. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to push your ideology on them, but you also don't want it pushed on you. You know what I'm saying?
But you don't want to get trampled under a tyrannical foot because government's now saying, "Oh, well, look, if we do this,
because they can keep getting away with it.
They're not pushing back on this. All right, fuck it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll keep doing it.
Keep doing it. You know, and I'm not saying that I don't know what they're getting out of it, you know what I mean? But, you know, it's like, I don't know. I get weirded out just because when you see the number of small businesses that are closed forever, over 40% of all small businesses through the country.
And what happened with like people got loans and shit and they mainly went to like bigger corporations? Isn't that wild?
Yeah. Well, see, so here's the problem, right? The definition of small business is 1 to 500 employees.
Wow.
500 employees is a bigger fucking operation than 1 employee or 5 employees or 10 employees. Even when you get to like 100 employees, that's a big fucking, like
that's
to me,
huge.
that's a big business.
That's
like,
huge.
You know what I mean?
It's huge.
Yeah. So I think there needs to definitely be a restructuring on definitions of some of these fucking things.
The boundaries.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, like, I don't know. It's just, you know, it's crazy shit. We don't got to get into all that.
No, man, but it's
shit,
is what's going on with us.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law just canceled. She's not coming on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know, like and I would love to have her there.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, she works at a hospital and she doesn't want to, you know, and she's fine, but she doesn't want to.
Smart. Yeah.
But like she feels, you know, that it's because of the Baker thing. It's because people are pushing that narrative, and you know, people, the older people are feeling more nervous. And she's fine. We went away with her to New Hampshire over the weekend with the kids, but you're right, man. It's demoralizing. That's why we gotta. You know, we got to make the best of it, or we got to find ways around it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like the mask don't control me.
No,
you know, like meaning like I wear the mask in the store, and I'm good with my day. The rest of the day, I'm happy. I'm smiling. It's nothing.
Yeah.
No, meaning take it off, put it on, whatever, man. Yeah. And I'm not gonna shame some.
It's a minor inconvenience. You know,
for real. For me, like I said, man, it sucks, but I don't mind doing it. I'm happy to have the freedom of doing or going wherever I want.
Yeah.
If I have to wear a mask in a store, I'm okay with it, even though I know it sucks. Does that make, you know what I'm saying?
But see, the thing is, in the Constitution of the United States,
Yeah.
that's not a freedom that's given by the government. That's a freedom that transcends the government. So when they're trying to limit that shit, that's all I'm saying is we got to be a little cognizant of that shit. Because,
For sure.
like, you know, like when they were trying to shut down state borders and this and that and no traveling and fucking this and that and, you know, like, oh, we're going to have shutdowns. You can't be on the road after 10 at night, curfew. Like, you got freedom to travel. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
they're making you feel.
It's just, you know, there's just something weird about it, you know?
And there's going to be numbers are going to go up because it's flu season.
Yeah.
And they're going to attach it to COVID. You know, with this whole stimulus package, you know, hospitals, people, when they have elective surgeries early on, weren't going in for them. So when the COVID numbers slowed down, the funding and the stimulus that they got, you know about this, they were laying off doctors. So to get, I'm not saying it was all corrupt, but a lot of hospitals were exaggerating the numbers, embellishing. When someone gets hit by a bus, if they had COVID, they died of COVID.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I completely see that.
No, and like I said, I know people, and I worked in medical for a while, and I know people that work at hospitals, and people that are hospital managers, and they're like, yeah, we got money for every COVID patient that come in. You know what I mean? Like, so guess what? At the beginning, when there wasn't, as accurate or whatever testing going on, anyone with a sniffle had fucking COVID, got coded as COVID at least so they could get money. And, they're a business and they got to stay open. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and there was no elective surgeries and people weren't working. So people weren't getting hurt, or like people weren't out and about. And then people were just scared to go to the hospital. So no one was going in. So anyone that went in had fucking COVID if they could fucking find the smallest thing that would be a COVID symptom, so they could get grant money.
I was afraid to get tested. Sorry to interrupt. I was afraid to get tested. I got tested a couple weeks ago and it came back negative, but I was afraid they were going to like lie and, you know what I mean? Like that's what was going through my head. Are they going to, chalk me up? You know what I'm saying?
I know, I got tested once because we went to Austin, Texas, and
same when I traveled.
Yeah. And when we got back, I was like, here at the motorcycle shop, it's one thing because, it's small and, we're not like up on somebody.
Yep.
But I have a tattoo shop, and the guy that I own it with is is basically my best friend since 6th grade, and he has a lot of health issues going on now. So out of respect to him, and also because I'm close contact with people doing the laser removal, I was like, I had a bunch of clients that night. I was like, I better go. I went and got the test that you get the results back in 20 minutes.
Mine was like an hour.
Yeah, it was like an hour. It's 20. It's supposed to be 20 minutes.
But I went outside, came back in.
So so I knew, and then we all tested negative. So I was like,
just feeling better, but because you don't know, you know what I mean, like what they can do, what they can say, you know what I mean, like.
And plus now with the world and there's so many snitches and fucking dry snitches, like you just got back from Texas and you're at work. I can be like, no motherfucker, look, I got my test result. You know what I mean? And just in case, I was just trying to cover my ass on that shit.
The whole asymptomatic thing was confusing too. Yeah, because people saying that those people now then you come to find out that they can't even give it to people or something. That was
it changes every day.
It's wild, right?
It's wild. And that's what we were talking about with somebody. Is that I forgot who I was talking about. Like the problem with this illness is that it's such a wild card. Like people that are the most unhealthy motherfuckers, and they get rid of it, and like they're like, oh yeah, I felt sick for a day, or I lost my sense of smell for a day. Yeah. And then people that seem healthy are like getting fucking devastated from it. You have to tread lightly on how serious you take it because excuse me, how if you don't take it seriously, because my cousin, he works at Carrier, the air conditioning, the HVAC, whatever it is, the big corporate. He works there and he's been there forever, but he one of his employees is like 33 and she passed away. No previous nothing. She didn't have any health issues before. She had no lung issues.
Nothing. No. That's some people can't. Their body can't handle it.
Yeah.
He told me she was absolutely fine.
Card. Yeah, it's a wild.
So that's why. And I know that's an anomaly, but I respect,
Yeah.
But the whole mask thing I just meant is I'm not up in arms about me. My life is good without that shit.
Yeah.
But the whole control thing, I totally see. I don't want to go that route.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, all right, do a mask. Like I don't,
even if it doesn't,
I don't fully believe in it. But you know what? It's not my fight. But when they try and do forced vaccinations, mandatory vaccination,
that's all different.
Fuck you, motherfuckers! Like, you've had how many years to make a flu vaccination? And you don't have one still that is over 40 or 50% effective. How in 3, 6, or 9 months are you going to get a fucking COVID vaccination that fucking?
My boy said, when is it going to stop? When's the mask going to stop? He's saying that.
Who knows? I mean, if you look at countries like Japan and China and stuff, the masks are just part of their culture now. You know what I mean? They've been doing that for a long time. But
but like
I don't know.
You're right, man. This is like
it's still the funniest thing to me is like going to the bank and I'm going to the bank strapped with a mask on. It's like a whole different scenario. I'm like,
is your mask like another thing is like a bandana they're not like hospital masks. You know what I mean? So it's like it's just
most of the masks people are wearing are not doing anything.
Yes, correct.
You need certain masks, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you ever see what a virologist wears and like people that work in it? They're in like those self-contained fucking suits and shit. Like a hazmat you really suit. Think your fucking bandana or your fucking 50 cent fucking bodega fucking mask is doing anything? No.
I always see like a dude at the store cashing trading in the change for like money to get like a 40 and he's got like his t-shirt up over his nose
Yeah.
And I'm like, dog, like I don't but yeah, it's a polarizing topic, man. Like look, it's just like everything you got. Meaning, I'm just in the middle. Meaning, you got people on the extreme side saying like, I have all these conditions. Fuck you. You have to wear the mask. And then at the other side, like, fuck, you're taking our rights. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
well, you know, the thing, yeah, exactly. And
it's really,
somewhere in the middle.
again, it's again splitting us, you know, just like everything.
Everything,
the election, you can go down the line with all this stuff right now. Thank God I never had personal Facebook. I never had it, man. Never.
Oh, yeah.
I just have the music page so I can't see other people's pages. I can't see what they're posting, their whole diatribes of all their bullshit. You know what I mean?
You know, and then people get mad at me sometimes because they're like, "Oh, I hit you up, I tagged you in something." I was like, I post something on Instagram and then I make it so that it shares to Facebook too.
That's what I do too. Yeah,
but I don't go on Facebook. Every time I go on Facebook, I get like so disheartened.
No, I've never had a personal Facebook, so I've never seen it, and it's always passive aggressive or rants. And no, I just know it because I know other people posting snapshots of it on.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? So, but like where this, the genesis of this started with me saying that I hope tour happens again, but I haven't thought about it. I really haven't. It hasn't been even an option. I don't even know. I really don't even know if it's gonna. And I wouldn't even enjoy it. I wouldn't enjoy it.
You'd be worried, yeah.
No, and more worried of just like everywhere has to be a different. What's the rules here? What's the rules here? What's the rules here? My girl's great that she looks it up. If we're going to Maine, she's like, oh, we can't go to this place, and she's cool, but she's just giving me a heads up so that we don't deal with any conflict.
Yeah. Well, that's the best way, man, just to avoid it.
That's,
But it's crazy. The crazy thing is, I've had a lot of different people on here involved in music, and whether it's hip hop or punk rock or hardcore, or metal, whatever. And it's amazing to me that no matter what the genre is, like as an American artist, you can make a living touring Europe, but it's way harder to do that touring the States.
Yeah, I don't even think about it here, man. I've done it. It's oversaturated. I mean, they have their own artists there too, but for me, I really enjoy the experience of going to these different countries, Yeah. What I was saying to you is like some of these tours, man, like it's complete nepotism, but I only want to have my friends with me. I've had people message me, I'll pay you, because some of these bum ass artists, they charge dudes $3,000 to come on tour with them. You know?
Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm sorry to call cats out, but you know what?
You're not naming names.
Good for y'all, man. But listen, I'm not having no dude just because. Listen, I want my friends that I grew up with or that I'm really close with, because those are people that I want around me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you want to, because it's like you said, it
literally, like, not even the dopest rappers, like, and don't take or dope, whatever.
Yeah,
like, meaning they are dope to me, but I'm all about building within.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Being a rapper, that means nothing to me. But like being a good rapper, yes, of course. Like when I say dopest, I just mean like they don't have to be on elite status where everybody knows them. I know that they could be as good, but if their character is everything to me.
Absolutely,
you know, like if
especially
I know,
when you're out there, you're in foreign places.
Yeah, and they're with me.
There's good and bad times,
and they ride for me. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, like if there's never really a situation, but if I'm like, yo, can you go get this money from the promoter, and they'll go and talk to him. You know what I'm saying? Like if whatever, not even on,
and it comes back intact,
or just like just little stuff like that. They're grateful to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when you're, like I said, when I'm out, it's way funner. Like, and especially situations that could be wicked shitty.
Yeah.
But if you got someone with you that you know and trust, like, it makes it way better.
Memories for laughing, like balls off, like, and stories of just, like, us just, man, half of it is just the travel. The travel kills you, man. Yeah. I tell people all the time, they don't believe me. They're like, "Oh, I want to go to Europe. I want to go to Europe." Man, listen, I look like I have so many pills of vitamins. It looks like Magic Johnson waking up every day taking his row of pills. But I have all these vitamins, like fish oil and oil of oregano and vitamin C and turmeric, and like I mean I do most of these anyway.
Is
but
the
like,
oil of oregano because you have to keep up a certain amount of oregano in your system as an Italian?
Yeah. I knew it was coming.
I never heard of that one.
So I was in New York doing a show, and the dude put me onto this for whatever it helps your immune system.
Okay.
So
I just hadn't heard of that one.
Oil of oregano is fantastic, man. It's and what was the other one that I do? Turmeric's really good too. I'm sure you know that one.
Anti-inflammatory.
Oh yeah. I wish I was more knowledgeable on what oregano does, but I know it's good. I know it's good for the immune system. But I do obviously I do apple cider vinegar, which is very good.
Yeah.
But basically, so you fly. So I fly. I take
Do you drink like the mother's apples?
the mother, of course,
Yeah,
but I actually have the vitamin now too.
I have the pill too. The pill's a little bit easier for when you're on the road.
Yeah. So I land. I get off the plane. I always have a switch flight because they always get a cheap flight, which is fine. You know what I mean? I'm not on some celebrity shit, and I go to I take a train, you know what I'm saying? I get to the venue, we get there, we do sound check, we eat real quick, and then we perform, and then it's like, you know what I'm saying, the next day, which if I have any, time, we do a song, we'll do a video. Like I'm doing every single day, I will map out every single day. And it's so easy because I just say to so-and-so in Germany or so-and-so in Switzerland or so-and-so in Estonia, Czech Republic, yo, I want to leave with 10 videos. I want to leave with 10 songs. I want to leave with 10 shows. You know what I mean? Like,
and they're stoked to work with you as a visiting artist.
Yes. And I've had friendships, and I'll say to the promoter, yo, instead of putting me in a hotel, pay me more for the show, and I'll stay at my homies. You know what I mean? That. Like I'm not like, yo, I need this, and like they're like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like it's like I want to bring home money to my family. I want to make sure I leave when I'm there. Because when I'm here, I don't record as much. I don't. Yeah. I'm gonna be real with you. Now I'm producing a ton, but like when I'm here, like if I'm with the kids, I'm not in the studio every day.
Yeah.
Dudes are bullshit. Like, yo, man, you ain't rapping every day, and if you are, you might not be taking care of all your other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like
sure.
so, and I'm not motivated to like write and record every day. But when I'm there and they've paid me to do a show, and I have a studio that next morning, and the videos that day for that song that we have to record in the morning.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you got the pressure. Yeah.
I gotta come with it, and I love it. I love the pressure.
Yeah.
Like, meaning I want to be like, and I'm not a studio guy. I'm always at my own, like I like doing it, but when I'm at my crib and I've done 500 songs, whatever, I'm not motivated to like writing a song is like work. I'm like, this is work. You know what I mean? Like,
and I
need someone to like they've paid me to be here. I gotta come correct with this.
Plus you're out somewhere different and you got different experiences.
Motivation,
inspiration. It might fire some new shit off in your head and be a source of
inspiration. No, dude, I'll bang out. I'm not kidding. I'll bang out like 10 songs. But the thing is, each day the travel and you show up and you have to perform and you slept 2 hours and you're like, you know what I mean? Like you're on a train and you're wearing down your voice and you're getting, and every dude who came with me, every homie the first day, every one of them lost their voice within 24 hours. You know what I mean? Like so I learned how to navigate that, and it's still.
And also, it's part of it is just building up your vocal cords and your tolerance.
Hydration. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the biggest thing is hydration.
Sleep and hydration.
Yeah, sleep. Dude, I'll drink 2 2-liter bottles of water before the show, and it makes a world of difference. I swear to God, man. Like no, just that's all it is. Yeah. You know? No, but this you get to a point like it's like some drill sergeant shit. I was telling you where I'm like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was dragging Meta out of the bed in Finland, dog. He almost missed the boat. I'll show you a video of that, dog. But shout out to Meta P. He's the one who connected us.
Yeah, sure.
You know, and I appreciate it, man.
He's a good, solid dude.
Great dude. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Yeah, and that's the other thing. When you're in Europe, you never know how you're gonna be traveling. Like you gotta take a flight, and then you catch a train and get on a fucking boat and then get on another train. I'm
not on like Fabulous's tour bus. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, I'm taking the road more traveled because I want it to be as cheap as possible. I'll take the mega bus, which is like 14 hours when it's like, like a 4-hour train ride, 3-hour train ride, Yeah. What the hell? I don't care, dog. If it's $20, pay me more and I'll pay for the bus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, like I have to come home with money. Like I ain't on no like sucker shit where, my girl knows it's work when I'm there.
Yeah. Sure. No. And I mean,
that to me is lame. You're a man and you have a family. It's like, yo, like I'm not there to party. I'm there. It's work.
Yeah.
And I'm there to build where next time I come, it's better and better. And I guess that's the only thing that's a little discouraging is we were really, really making like a good push, man. It was really, I'm not like, I had 3 tours. I've never like lined up, that I set up almost. I had the one in March that I was on. I had the one in July, and then I had the one in like, it was going to be like this January, February, January, February I only had a couple dates, but March I was on and July was booked.
Yeah.
And it lost completely, gone. Like, and we had momentum. We put out the record with Pete Rock, The Atonement for the album I was doing. doing The Ego and the Enemy Part 2, which was a sequel to the one that we were talking about with Lodge Professor and stuff. And it was, it's okay. Destroy and rebuild. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, but that whole single was to follow with the album, and I didn't want to put out the album with everything going on, like with all the COVID and the race wars. No, really, like I felt like selfish putting something out about myself.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's like, you know, as an artist nowadays, like the way you survive is touring off a record.
That's for me.
So what are you gonna do? Put out a record, and then it sits there, and no one's buying it anymore. Everyone's just listening to it on Spotify. So you're getting paid what 0.0001 cent for every listen. You know,
said it better than I did. That's exactly right.
There's no reason to even put something out right now. It's like,
why would I? What just to like be like, yo, I have a new album and put it on Spotify. That's so lame to me, man.
Yeah.
And dude, shout out to the artists who can put them out and crank them out and put all these records. You know, like But I'm also,
and teach their own too. Like some people, that's you learned a new skill, but someone else might have just made new music. During this to get through it or whatever.
Or they just able to pump them out like that. Like I'm really. It sounds so cliche. I'm old school where like I love putting everything into an album, dog. Like I'm talking like my heart, my soul, like everything. You know, like I'm spending like 3 mixes on a record over a year. Like that's crazy. Like I know that's too much, but that's how much I care about that detail.
Sure. No, and that's
you know what I mean?
There's nothing wrong
but
with that.
And you can hear it. Like I swear to God, you know, but like sometimes it's too much, but like I want to have something that's lasting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like and this new record that the Pete Rock's The Atonement was the first single. Man, we have, you know, Pete Rock, we have Eric Sermon.
Yeah.
You know, we have Apollo Brown, Illmind, M Phases. I got M Phases and Illmind like 7-8 years ago before they blew up. M Phases now produces, like he produced for Eminem and what's the chick's name? I forget, whatever, but Demi Lovato, you know. Illmind produces for like J. Cole and Jay-Z and Beyonce, and he did. I was watching Moana with my daughter. He does some of the music on Moana. You know what I mean? Like, so, but I got these dudes 6, 7, 8 years ago when they were doing underground stuff.
Yeah.
Illmind's first one, or one of his first ones, was with Acro.
Yeah.
I forget the one where he's like, you can hear it in the record. I forget what he says, but yeah, man, shout outs to them. And I've saved these records.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, when I get better, you know, like when I'm a better MC, because I'll get better every year with that's the key too. Like I want to get better. I want to see progression.
So that's interesting. So you stack beats.
So
so like there's this thing like it's
no
weird.
joke, and I put out other stuff. You know.
Yeah. So there's like this weird thing. Like the only other place I've ever heard that this is going to be weird in a jump, but I love it. In the science of archaeology.
Yeah.
If they find a new site, say they find a new site in Egypt or wherever, in Mexico or whatever. They'll only excavate part of the site.
This is what I want. Yes.
And then they save a significant portion of it because they know they're going to have better methods in the future.
Yeah.
So they don't want to destroy everything. So they'll only, say it's like it's not ever going to be a square mile, but say it's a square mile.
Yeah.
They'll only excavate a part of it and leave 90% of it. So that they can, when they have better methods down the line, they can excavate and find more shit. And it's crazy,
brother. You just made my whole day. Like you don't understand. Like I can't assimilate completely with that. But like when I got these beats, it was a big deal to have their production. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I wanted to get to a point where I had more ears. More people tuned in, more people listening. Yeah. And if I just put it out like blah, 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 and a lot of people say just put it out, whatever, see what it does. I am 100% a better MC, have better recording quality, better, you know what I'm saying? Better mixing techniques. I found my voice more. Yeah. I didn't have that back then. Yeah. And I know for a fact I wouldn't have liked it as much listening back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So to preface that, before I saved these ones, I saved the high tech. I saved, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then what I was thinking, and then I put out the Ego and the Enemy, but that was like 5-6 years before that. But I was still putting out mixtapes and putting out projects and doing features and tours. But what I did with this new one is, again, now I'm like, let me, augment what I have. And I added Black Milk. That was during COVID. Yeah. Shout out to Black Milk. And I messaged him. I'm a huge Black Milk fan, like, from Detroit, and I've seen his progression with his beats and with him emceeing, and I wanted to have him produce on it, and now I've added him. Now it looks even crazier with these guys all next to each other. You know what I'm saying? The production.
And so not only have you refined your skills in the last few years, but their names have gotten bigger. So now it's way bigger of a deal to have.
You can't get a beat from him. You can't. Illmind doesn't do hip hop beats, like meaning like independent.
Yeah, sure.
For a fact, like this, and it's dope because I can send them the reference. You know what I'm saying? It's not like there's no relationship, and it's not, you know what I mean? Like they know, this is so dynamic for me because, like you said, I've kind of archived a lot of these, and these guys have grown.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And it's not. It's an antiquated thing to put out records with a long process, but that Ego and the Enemy that we put out in 2017. It was the #1 seller at UGHH for the whole year. For like it, second was Sean Price. Our rest in peace to Sean Price. That was a big deal. Like I don't know, it's obviously Boston based. Maybe that helped, but Wu-Tang was on there. Apathy's album was on there with who did he do the album with from DITC? Yeah, but shit, man, I feel awful. I don't OC. Yeah, but whatever. So. West Side Gun was on the list, and I have the list. Like for us to be #1 is, dude, it's monumental for us.
Yeah, it's an accomplishment for
now.
you.
And I'm just a regular dude, man. Like that's wild to me. But now it's like nothing. Now this one has to be better.
Yeah,
I'm 100% a better MC than I was then.
Yeah,
because I care and I try, brother. I'll do 100 takes.
Yeah,
I'll do 100 takes. I don't do one take shit. Like I'll do chunks. I'll do redos. I'll jump in. I'll go back and redo it. I'll re-edit it, remix it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And like I said, I'll still put out other stuff, but like it has to have my full effort.
Yeah, no.
Anything I attach myself to. My parents taught me that if you can do something, do it to the fullest.
Yeah.
You half-ass shit, man. You half-ass your whole life.
Yeah.
And those people, like I can't have those people around me either.
Yeah.
Really, like it's like, yo, the sad part is, man, a lot of I sound old, a lot of the younger generation it's like they've been taught like, 17th place. And that's fine. It's cool. But I just meant, yo, if you want it, you know what I'm saying? Don't blame your coach. Don't blame yourself. Put yourself first. You expect nothing from anybody. You'll have no disappointment because it's all on you.
Absolutely, man.
That's it. That's what I live by.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. What, so for people that might be exposed to you for the first time, like, tell us a little bit about. I know we just kind of got to where you're at, and we'll get back to that. But why don't you tell a little bit about your origin story, like your background, man? You know what I mean? So
other than Italy, no, but
pop an oregano pill, and
it's funny. My mother's mother had a fig tree. Figs.
Yeah.
Those are fantastic, man.
Hey, that's like a fucking hidden secret, dude. Like literally. If you could just get past how it looks when you open up a box of figs, like I was getting them.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
It's like nature's candy, dude.
It's
like
nature's candy.
Like
That's
literally it tastes like candy, but it's like not as bad for you.
No, it's fruit. Right? You know what I mean? But so I grew up in East Boston until I was like 6. So I don't, and then my parents moved to Revere, and I lived there till we were like 20. And then I lived in Lynn for about 10 years. And I live in Beverly now, but I started emceeing probably when I was like a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
So I'm older now. So that was 99 was when I was a sophomore. Started recording on tapes. You know what I'm saying? And I always do the story of like Kid and Play in Kid and Play 2, when the second movie where they're trying to get in the studio, how do we get in the studio? Like the whole movie they're trying to get in the studio, whatever, the part 2 of Kid and Play. And that's what I always think of with us is like, I didn't know, I didn't know y'all. I didn't know how to get into a studio. Like I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like there wasn't the internet. I could have looked it up, and then I just meant, so, let's figure out how to do it on our own. And that's I can't stress this enough. That's what's helped me develop and grow fast and stronger, is not being reliant on anybody. We were talking about that earlier, where the older generation, and it's kind of a disservice to them, they were only put in the booth.
Yeah.
Now they're learning, but I've only known how to record myself. Step in the booth and then step out of the booth and then come back and then record. Press record, step back out, go back to the booth. You know what I mean? And making a egg crate, egg crate closet soundproofing
Yeah.
from beds and stuff, and learning how to mix with no YouTube, just like testing it. And that's how that obviously was it was rudimentary because I was using awful programs, old programs, but those old and awful programs made me better at the harder programs because I was using such shitty stuff.
Yeah. But it also gives you a foundation
for sure,
and a more of an understanding of it, the whole process.
Oh man, and I became savvy with it. I can't stress that enough. Like artists that I know that are semi legends, they don't know how to record and bounce a song. And that's not, I'm not knocking. I'm saying like because they were from the generation where they went in the studio, a label paid, and I'm from where I built and recorded myself because I didn't think anybody believed in me.
Yeah,
you know, that's some real shit.
Sure.
And no one was like, yo, you're whack. Just I didn't have any homies that were big music studio guys.
Yeah.
So like that was always my dream for us to build something from the ground up, and that's what I think is so dope about Europe is that other than Crumb, we talked about, shout out to 7L, I didn't really know anybody when I was first, other than my home team, my friends. And when I started out as a group, EMS, and I'm still in a group, that's still my brothers, and I still pull them with me, and they're still doing their thing, and we're still together with best friend. I'm going to Revs after this. But when they fall back and have lives and stuff, I'm still going.
Yeah.
And they can come on tour, they can do stuff, they can, if I have a magazine interview, they get in the interview, whatever. But you need your friends, you need your crew. But that's where I started, is when I was, building our own studio. But the kids ahead of me, the next generation, they're able to film and edit their own stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, but I'm learning that too.
The technology just gets crazier and
just like that,
much more available. Like
just like me being able to do the studio myself. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, so I know I went off a little bit, but I'm really proud of that because it built me being self-sufficient.
What was your inspiration that made you even want to get into like doing music,
rap,
like, and just, but you're doing more than just rapping, but you're recording and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But like what was the inspiration? Like what forced you to just go from being like a fan to being like, I got to do this?
Just like anybody else, man. I love it. I love it so much. It sounds so silly. I mean, maybe not anymore, but like I just love music.
Yeah.
But when I love rap, I'm like, yo, I can do that. I can't sing, at the time. Like I'm trying to, do more stuff like that. But I loved it so much. I'm like, yo, I want to be a part of this.
Sure.
And that's the truth. There's no two ways to sugarcoat it. I was just like, my mother used to play music when I was a kid. Like I'm talking like play records all the time, man. Like all that funk and soul and all that stuff is what hip hop utilizes, Yeah. So
sure.
when I heard the hip hop, the hip hop records, I was like, man, this is.
You were
like,
probably IDing samples.
Yes. Now it's like, forget about it, man. Like it's like I'm very, I can catch a lot of samples and it's crazy. That's another thing with the beats. I've used a lot of samples. 99% of the beats I've used, I've made 108 beats since lockdown, and none of them have been like noticeable samples. I found weird, organic, wild records.
Sounds, yeah.
And it's because I used to do a move job where I would do cleanouts, and we get so many records. So I'd flip I'd take the records because everyone's giving away records. That's why I thought it was so dope to be on a vinyl, because that's like forever. You're gonna be in somebody's yacht sale someday.
Yeah.
But for real, they don't throw them out usually.
No. But so, if
it's a special thing,
they don't get thrown out. They get handed to somebody or brought to like the swap meet or the flea market or secondhand store or whatever.
So that was my list of things to do. Was like I've said this line before, but it's been a long time. But I wanted, when everyone was rapping, I wanted to be like, okay, I have this person says, okay, I have my mixtape. I'm like, okay, I have my vinyl.
Yeah.
Someone's like, oh, I have this showcase. I'm like, yo, I have this Europe tour. In my head, without a label, without, I wanted to not even like top them. I just simply meant like, just like, I want to be professional.
Yeah.
Because that don't sound professional if I'm coming up to someone with a burnt CD with marker on it,
Yeah.
So I wanted to, be able to present that.
It's just more of a testament to how serious you take it.
Yeah. I again, something else I can't stress enough is how obsessed with detail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, dude, it did lose. There was a period where, like, you know, rapping, like I said, the writing process, but man, being on the road, that type of stuff, and now the production, like that. This is the fire's ignited to another level now. Yeah. I'm excited so much. I love life in general. So
yeah.
That's why the you know, to circle back, the mask thing, it sucks, but it doesn't. It's not ruining my day.
Yeah. It's like it's what you make of it. Like I said, like that's not going to be that's not the battle I fight. It's more
down
for
the
sure,
road when
but they want to make you have a vaccine before you can travel or some shit. No, fuck that.
Yeah. Well, that show got moved from July to next July, so I'm really hoping it happens. I mean, people are saying it might not. You know, that who knows when we're able to travel.
I have friends that are in like major bands that have 2021 booked, and they're like, I don't even think we're going to be doing that. From what they hear, from what they hear in the industry. But like, do you have any sense on like in the world that you tour in Europe, are like venues shutting down? I know like in Europe, a lot of the venues are more government supported than here.
That's true.
So I don't know, but like, are you finding that like, you know, like, are you in contact with your people over there? Like things still,
it's so weird. It's so weird because it's so, every place is different.
Yeah.
You know?
I get it.
And like, you know, but I don't even want to do a show right now.
No. But
no,
in my head,
but when are they performing? No, I haven't seen anybody. And if they are,
I mean, are they like they're shutting down? Like if you look at Boston, like every venue that
I didn't even
is like shutting down or like for sale or like whatever.
Yeah.
When places like the Middle East
are they closing? A lot of places aren't. So like they support their places. So like even if they're not doing shows, they'll have like a bar. You know what I'm saying, or like, you know, a food service or something like that. But like I said, I haven't seen any of the places hosting shows.
Yeah.
I saw RA do one show in Belgium. You know, it just seems like work.
No, but I mean, when it comes back, like there's gonna still be the venues.
Oh, are they gonna are they gonna be a lot? Who knows? I haven't heard anything. Shout out to RA, man. We did a show in Switzerland, in Lucerne. He was.
I've heard.
He was great. He was great.
Many
great.
stories about that guy. Like
we've done a couple shows together. He was fantastic. We were talking backstage. Well, you know what? I talked to him a lot about and dude, I'm telling you, man, it's like he's a real dude, and he
absolutely
he takes a lot of time with detail with his album. That's the thing. He took like 3-4 years with this new project, and he's very detail orientated, and he's dope. And I think he's definitely like that's his persona and his character. It's not fake. I just meant like when he's on the stage, he is wild and always on the DJ. Even the DJ is like, you know, there like because he doesn't bring a DJ, so he's like, you know, like he's messing with the DJ who's there. But no, he was awesome, man. Awesome to me. But yeah, he's got some wild stories. He showed up to shows like this back in the day, like with like his trash bag on over his shoulder, you know, like that's his bag, you know what I mean? It's an actual trash bag, you know?
Yeah.
Try that now on the plane, forget about it.
Yeah.
So we had the show backstage. I was kind of digging into the Biggie story, which I'm sure a lot of people do because he had the record with Biggie. What the hell is the name of the song? But you've heard the song with him. That's a for sure record. It's like really nasty, like cunt. It's something. I forget the name. My homie's gonna kill me. But him and Biggie have a song, and I'm like, yo, this dude is right here with me. You know what I mean? We're homies. Like it's like you work with Biggie. That shit's crazy to me. Like Biggie, like that's like that's otherworldly. But to him, it wasn't anything. Not that it wasn't any. It isn't anything. But it was just a record at the time.
Yeah, well, you got to think.
And he didn't think of Biggie as the best rapper ever when he did it. You know what I'm saying?
It was just, he was just, you know, everyone starts.
But you feel me?
Somewhere.
That's like iconic.
They ascend, yeah.
You know? Biggie and Tupac, I mean, you can argue those are 1 and 2, you know, like, or 2, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking I'm talking about in iconic stature.
Sure, yeah.
You know?
Absolutely, yeah.
I love Big Pun. That's my, you know.
Yeah. It's just crazy, you know. It's like you said, like, you know, but the thing is like, you know, the way you got beats from dudes, but sat on them and stacked them for when you're better. Like, you know, like imagine if he had waited and, you know,
that would have been better. That would have been
kept
better.
That verse.
Wow. See that,
you know
that
what
makes
I mean?
me so the Method Man song, we have a second Method Man song on this album.
Oh yeah.
And I've sat on that for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And people are like, I mean, that's insane. No. I want to put it out on a project. You know what I mean?
That you feel is
well, I want you, you know, like I want to be banging down doors. I want people to be like, yo, this, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is, I don't care. I don't want to brag, but like the music content is undeniable. But it's if you just fuck with my sound, and my image. I don't really have an image. I just meant like that's just where what it comes down to.
Yeah.
That's what people buy into.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So like I was saying to you before too, we don't do the bang bang everything like shooting, but yo man, like we've been in our stuff and like like I have all those people around me, you know what I mean? I'm homies with those dudes, but I'm not all about that. I'm about like pain, sadness, breaking up with your girlfriend, and happiness too, and loving shit, and like, you know what I'm saying? Every record is different.
Yeah.
I got records, with all across the board with 7L and then Crumb Snatcher, you know what I'm saying? But both on different shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that shit, that makes, I'd rather be a chameleon, but a genuine one.
But it's not really a chameleon. You're just talking about life shit, and everyone experiences highs, lows, everything in between.
Adjusting. You're right. I should definitely use it, but like adjusting to each record and fitting the record.
Yeah, yeah.
With it still being me.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
And not like sounding, contrived.
What's like your source of inspiration for writing? And I know it could be different depending on what the record is like, but like in general is like when are you hit and like, oh shit. I mean, besides the pressure of having,
I like the pressure. That's
having to have a song done that after that morning.
That's
or whatever,
the pressure is like if they brought me there, but inspiration is like I love like listening wise, music or just what brings the pen.
Any of it, yeah.
Wow, I think often the biggest thing I get into when I start writing is I think how I can make a better record than the last one. I know that sounds wild, man. Like, and I'm like, yo, like, how can I? Like, the thing is, I think about it too much, but like, I'm like, yo, that last record did well. This one has to be better. Yeah. And that's people don't think like that, and that's too much, and that's a little bit. I don't need to do that type of pressure. I don't need to, but I think that's what deters me from always sitting down and writing.
Yeah, yeah.
Because in my head, I'm like, if I don't see progression in somebody, they're stagnant to me and it's boring. And it's like, I've already heard this.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I want to grow more than just doing boom bap. Like, and not that I want to do pop records. I just meant I want to make bigger and better music. Reggae and funk and jazz. Like, not just me, like being a part of those records. So I think that's very vital to me to not just be caught while still staying true to what I like doing.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because I get bored of it. I can't lie. That's why the producing has been so dope because it's something new to me.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's very understandable, man. It's like, what you play any instruments, or is that the next?
That's the next thing. I mean, I'm trying with piano, but I'm not really good. But I'm trying.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's a growing process for sure.
Yeah, no.
I want to learn though.
What makes you choose piano? I mean, I could kind of get it, you know what I mean? But like, is there
because the kids keys with producing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but drum. I think I have a hard time with drums. I haven't really got into it too much because it's tough for me to do two things at once. Like I'm trying to like play and kick, and I feel like I'm doing it at the same time. Like I'm kicking in, you know what I'm saying? In the
drums, you're actually kind of doing three things.
More. But I'm saying I can't even the two. I'm doing them both at the same time.
I got you. Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, why is that? It drives me nuts, man. But that's as real as it gets, man. But yeah, it's something I want to be better every day as a person, as an artist, whatever, as a dad, everything. Because I feel like this whole life, like you said about fuck that, like with things, like, nah, man, we need to be with our loved ones. We need to enjoy our time with each other because it's a blessing. You're not promised anything. So it's like, that's why I don't really commiserate or like get into like shit where like people, I can't be around negative people, man. Like, it's like, I have to leave that area. Like, I want to just only be progressing as a person because we're wasting time.
Yeah.
No, and it's okay to have your moments. I use, there you go. When I'm dealing with some shit and I'm having a tough time, my son's mother, like, we get along fine, but it was always like a struggle to get him more. And I took her to court twice, meaning like I volunteered more money and I wanted him more with a schedule. Sure. I would have to chase her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So, and that shit really messed with me, like, cause it's my son. Like I want to be with my son. Like why, there's no reason. There's no reason. It wasn't music. I don't do drugs. It wasn't, it was selfish. Smother, you know what I'm saying? And I can say that, it's just that shit to open up on that. Like, it's just, she has a relationship and she wants that to be the play house and, you know, like I never was there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I fought, and I have my son, and I've always been with my son. We'll still have him every weekend. I just meant like where I have him for more than just the day, you know, the weekend and stuff like that. Because his sisters, my girls, like, I love it. I never thought I'd love having girls, but it's like the best thing in the world, man. It really is. But my girls, I want them to be with their brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want it just to be like, you know, and it wouldn't have come to fruition if I didn't push and push and push and take her. You know what I'm saying? So I know I went a little bit the other way with getting into that topic, but that pushes me with that type of stuff. That is painful, and that is stuff that pushes me to write, or pushes me to, you know, flip it to a positive. But it, like, you could change. If you can't change the situation, you could change your mood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and that's good advice, man. And I try and remember that, but sometimes it's hard.
No, I get it. I get it, man.
In the middle of the shit.
Yeah, man. Listen. You know, I'm no angel, man, but I can always strive to be better.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what life is, man. Like, it's like this. I'm really happy. I think us being brought together is a really cool thing because, like I said, you know, I don't, you know how much you talk about, but like I've always looked up to what y'all do with Brick and stuff like that.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So, and I've always been like, yo, like I want these cats like you to take notice of me. So I'm like, yo, I want to work harder, so I'm on their radar. I'm on their radar. Like, I want them to be like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I always. It's a sports mentality with me.
Yeah.
No, really, I play, you know, I play college basketball. So like everything with me is like competition. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I think that's where the structure of being on point with the music is. Really showing up, being on time, you know.
Yeah.
Not that I was on time today. My bad.
No.
But like, no, doing your job.
I mean, the level of communication we had before this, I understood that, and I've driven through Boston, and I went to Salem State College, so I know what it's like to get through. You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
You never, like, some days you just whip through, and some days it's like there's an accident or some bullshit. Forget it.
But no excuses. Like, meaning I should leave earlier. But but I really keep your word. You know, So I tell this story a lot, but not to, you know, be over talkative here, but
no, there's no structure or time limit on this shit, right?
I did a show, a radio show, and it was like 4 prominent rappers that were supposed to be there with me. It was some college radio show in UMass Lowell.
Okay,
you remember UMass Lowell, 91.5, whatever it was called. But
all the college stations are 91 something.
Yeah. Or except 88.9.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was a dream to get on 88.9 when I was like, and I did. And they had me for Live Music Week. I'm like, what? Like,
yeah.
So, and again, I didn't know anybody. I'm knocking on their door. I'm writing them emails. I'm finding, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's one thing I miss about like life pre-internet or pre-cell phone and stuff, is that there was more concentrated avenues of shit. Like,
yes.
And which made it harder because there was bigger gatekeepers to shit. Like nowadays you can make your own song and you can post it to the world in 30 seconds.
Yes, yeah.
But back then, like, it was like
the length of a song. The length of a song.
It was a big deal to get on ERS, or big deal to get to Stretch and Barbito, or big deal to get on certain things. So those were like milestones, and you worked for that shit. 100%. And now there's not as many of those things.
Brother, it was huge for me to be on 88.9.
Yeah.
I got dudes who have, they still write me on, you know, whatever, social media, Instagram. Some of them my email if they find it online, and they'll like say that the music, I'm not gonna be like, yo, I help people get through, but they listened to the music when they were locked up. 88.9 was their everything.
Yeah.
You only have the radio at night, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were like, you know, and 88.9, it was a big deal for me to be on there.
Sure.
Yeah. You remember that, like how, you know,
absolutely.
and like, so there was this radio, you know, for prominent rappers, and it was a snowstorm, and I said I'd be there, and the other cats didn't show up, and I showed up, and I didn't want to go. I wanted to stay home and chill with a chick or whatever, you know what I mean?
Of course, yeah. So New England,
it was a snowstorm.
Anyone that knows snowstorms, you don't want to go out in that shit
and drive. And I think we wanted to drink and shit, but I wasn't gonna drink and drive because it was snowing, and it kind of like, you know, who cares? It's a college radio. But I went, and I said I'll be there, you know. And the dude was so happy, and he was like, you know, I'm gonna be in college next year, and I wanna you made everything for me. This is like, I've been listening to your music forever, you know, like a couple of years, whatever, you know. And he's like, I'm a huge fan, and this, I can't believe you did this. I'm so happy. I'm gonna book you when I get into college next year. I keep my word, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And then a year later, he's like, yo, you know, I'm at this, you know, he's at Providence College, and he's like, you know, I'm here and I'm going to keep my word. And I'm like, wow. Because I stayed in touch with him too. You know, I'd send him records. I'd always like, you know, just do like little feelers. Like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
you know, here's some new music. And he was like, yo, you know, he was on the board and he got me booked at that show in Providence, and college budgets have crazy budgets. So I got paid good. The next year I got paid second most I've ever been paid for a show. This was at Providence College, and a dude at the show noticed me. He said, I'm going to book you at this show in Vermont at Middlebury College, 4,000 people with Kid Cudi. This was before Kid Cudi blew up too.
Yeah.
We did it in a hockey arena, and a dude at that show said, yo, I want to book you for the City Hall show with Wiz Khalifa. It was 35,000 people.
Yeah, yeah.
And then at that show, they booked me for the Boston Music Awards, and then we won the Boston Music Awards.
Yeah.
So like, it all started from keeping my word, showing up to that show.
I mean,
that's fucking phenomenal. You know, like
so much of shit in life is just showing up. It's and I know it sounds cliche, but it's fucking true. Or just doing it, like,
or doing your job.
yeah. Or, you know, like, and if anything, no matter what, the principles you're talking about are important for whatever you're interested in, like whatever you want to do in this world. Like, you know, stay to your word, fucking stay humble, like fucking show up, fucking put in the effort, take it serious.
You couldn't have said it. You do it to the fullest.
Yeah.
Show up and what was and keep your word. Keep your word. Keep your word. We talked about loyalty.
Yeah.
Like I don't trust dudes who can't keep their word.
No,
Like I swear to God I live by that.
Yeah.
Like I swear to God, man. Like,
But that chain,
and that was all like
that chain of events that you just laid out is proof of concept with that.
and I
You
could
know
go,
what I mean?
I could keep going. It could keep, you know.
It just keeps spiraling.
And those things were like, you know, 6 months, 4 months apart. You know what I mean? But like each thing was someone else
led to something else.
Yes, you know, and that's just one that I can see all the trajectory from the initial point.
Yeah, the problem is with a lot of this is you don't know.
You get muffled in together. And
Yeah,
like this
yeah.
I met here, and this one connected with this. Or
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, oh, he saw me here.
Yeah.
But that is a direct chain from that initial radio show.
Yeah.
That shit, dude, that's wild. Like a college radio.
Yeah.
And the dude's like, you know, and I got really, and I'm telling you, you know, it was like college budgets and stuff have, you know, like it was like, wow, this is like, you know, and I kept the check. I gotta actually find it. It's in one of the boxes I have of like old records and CDs and stuff. But man, that was a big deal. Boston Music Awards, being, you know, Kid Cudi, City Hall, Government Center. You know what I mean? Like again, I don't know anybody at the time. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and I'll meet people, and like I said, we're down with everybody. We're cool with everybody. But I don't sit at any table,
Yeah.
and I love that.
Yeah, you sit at your table.
And I love that.
Yeah.
Meaning people can't box me into anything.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm also not, it's tough to pop if you're not copying each year's trend or you're not, you know what I mean? Like I want to do what I want to do, but I also want to be cool with cats and do both of those, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
When I said that, I just meant, I think that when dudes do one side, like, okay, I'm gonna do the spaceship moon, fucking,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, what's cool, great. But like, then the gangster side, okay, I'm gonna do the gangster stuff. That's what you have to do. Like that's, like, meaning if you say you're a gangster, it's kind of tough to go backwards and be like, I'm not a gangster anymore. No, and I know people, you know, have reinvent themselves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that sound that got you popular, you know,
That crowd might not be.
Yeah,
it might not be open to the other stuff. Yeah.
What's the dude's name? Oh man, what's the dude's name? Cage, right? He went super emo and shit.
Yeah,
Because I bet you dealt with Cage. No, and no knock on Cage. I just, no, that's a terrible example because Cage his shit was dope. I haven't listened to whatever he's done since then, but you know.
Yeah.
And he still has an audience, I'm sure. I'm just trying to use an example, and it's tough. Or how about this? Not 80% of this shit with dudes selling drugs in their raps is bullshit.
Yeah.
You're fucking lying.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like you don't have time to be selling drugs and putting out all these records, dog. You know what I mean? And some of it is real. Some of these dudes do get it down. I know them, but you're just biting whatever you think will sell.
Yeah.
Come on, dog.
Yeah.
You know, like you gotta. When I said chameleon, I really mean you gotta adjust to your record and your audience while still being you.
Yeah. No. I mean, and that obviously, you know, people that are putting out inauthentic music don't last long. They might be a flash in the pan, they might hit,
You're
and they might for a little bit, but you know,
you're right. They don't last long.
You don't. They're not long for it. You know,
And
because the thing is like, yeah, everything's cool when you're on that rise and you take the ride.
Yeah.
But what about everything's got a dip and there's a valley and then there's a.
That's another thing about burning bridges. I say this to people all the time. So that not even just burning bridges. Like, okay, so those artificial ones, like the bullshit jump, the paid.
Yeah. They're not going to be through the hard times of it.
The jump 20,000. Like pay somebody this, pay this DJ, pay this record, get the spins, pay this feature. They jump, those 20 steps, but they don't have anything to fall.
There's no
back on.
foundation.
There's no you get it. Yeah. So there's a famous line. I cannot steal it. But Robert De Niro says in that movie with the dude who takes the pill, shit, man, the dude from Wedding Crashers, he takes the pill that like makes him like fast and he can like figure out everything quick.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name of that movie, but
this is perfect. But he says to him, he goes, "You think you can skip all these steps? You think you can like I've climbed the rusty ladder. Like I've done all this. I married the chick to get into that family. You know what I mean? Like he's like you don't have the foundation.
Yeah.
So when I fall, I might fall, a couple inches. When these motherfuckers fall, they're like miles. You know what I'm saying? Because I still have this built here and this built here because I've handled my business and treated people properly and shook hands and went to the places I said I was going to go to.
Yeah, it's all paying dues, man.
And people don't want to do it.
Yeah.
They don't.
No.
Everyone wants the easy check. And just like this COVID shit, I got that check and I obviously invested in my family, but like I used that money for like not buying a pair of sneakers and a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you were buying equipment.
Yes, 100%. Or investing or, put it into our savings for the house, for, whatever.
Course,
like, whatever it is, that's some real shit. Or like, if I'm not working, if I get an unemployment check, I'm not going and buying stuff. When you get that, if you get that extra 600, I'm
stacking it for when times are tighter. Yeah.
What you do with it? You buy sneakers? No, like not you understand? Like, like come on, like these rap chain, like come on.
Yeah.
Like it's to me, it's all about character.
Yeah. And anybody, who has a passion for something and puts the time and effort and the dedication and the work into it, like I have respect for, whether I like the music or the art or the whatever it is they do or not. The fact that, and I always wish that like, and those people always do find success to whatever level of success, but there's always a level of success to it. I think, there's been a lot of, I think on like Joe Rogan a lot, they talk about this type of shit, like, like the champion mentality, like of like just putting in the work and putting in more work than, like even like not the competitive stuff, even if it's the competition just with yourself.
It's yourself, ego and the enemy. Yeah. That's the name of the album. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just you. It's just you, man. Like me versus myself. I'm using all that other stuff, none of that matters. It's just distractions. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's fuel.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the chip on my shoulder? What do I use it as? I use it as fuel. You know what I'm saying? Like, brother, the Joe Rogan episode where he interviews the guy who started what's the Survivor? Not the Survivor, man. What's the one where you do the running and stuff and you do all those things, the workout where you go through, it's not Tough Mudder. He bought the Tough Mudder. That guy, Joe something. Do you know what I'm talking about? No?
Yeah.
The hell's the name of this is terrible that I missed it again, but he did the Survivor, man. No, not Survivor. He does the thing, but whatever. This guy said that he worked at his first job, he worked for a mafia guy, his next door neighbor, who was he was this guy's pool boy. Yeah, you've heard this one?
Yeah, I heard this one. Yeah,
and he says the three things that he told me, and he goes, he taught me a lot of stuff because people like that doesn't just because he's in a different line of work doesn't he's like you show up early. If you start at 8, you show up at 7:50, and if you show up at 8, you're late. Do other things, clean inside the workroom. Make sure that it looks better than when the person left. My father always said that too. Make yourself so that they need you. Yeah. So when you're not there, you're like, oh man, this is like, you know what I'm saying? You ever watch The Office? You fuck with The Office?
Yeah, sometimes.
So Dwight.
So here's the thing: is I haven't watched those
Oh, I love The Office.
Like, you know, like
watched
I haven't
early
seen
episodes.
I haven't
Early
seen
seasons.
every episode or like seen them, but every now and then, if I'm flipping through something, like
Oh, I love it,
I'll be
yeah.
home for like an hour, like to get dinner or something, and
Yeah,
then I'll
yeah,
flip
yeah.
it on, and then that's on, and I watch it. And
Oh,
I'm like, why didn't I never watch this?
It's so fucking funny.
But it's fucking hysterical.
oh my
yeah.
god! But Dwight leaves or whatever, and then like the plants are dying. Or this is because he did all this extra stuff that wasn't in his job
Yeah, yeah.
application. So make yourself needed.
Yeah,
And then he said, never. I don't agree with the last one, but he's like never request more money or something. I'm like, no, I think
yeah.
you
No, if
go
you
for
make
gusto.
yourself worth it, yeah.
Yeah, but like those first two really stuck with me. Is my father always said that is clean the area better than we used to do a carpentry job and there's sawdust everywhere. Make it cleaner than when you arrived.
yeah.
And that shit
Goes
stuck
a
with
long
me.
way.
Make the relationship
even here with the
better.
bikes. Like if
Yeah.
someone comes in for an oil change or something, like me or most of the time my guys wipe the whole bike down, so when it leaves, it looks better than when it came in. And the guy just came in, whether it's someone coming in
Yes,
for an oil change
yes.
or we're rebuilding a whole fucking motor. Like
I think of that in relationships.
Yeah.
Leave an impression better than when they even didn't know who you were. Obviously, that's an easy one.
yeah.
You can leave being like, wow, that was, somebody that I fuck with. If his name comes up, I vouch for this dude. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like, off of just meeting them and knowing them, looking in the eye, shaking their hand, talking to them. You know what I'm saying? I think of us, but I'm saying in general,
Yeah.
it's vital for people to take that serious.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
It could be so important, dog. It could be everything for them,
Yeah.
or it could just be like the right thing to do because people being good to each other.
Yeah.
No, I just meant the
No.
lesser degree of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I just get like
No, meaning you don't need a reward for it.
yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah,
know?
just be a stand-up fucking dude. It's wicked. It's to me it seems wicked easy, but it seems like it's something I get worried about with like cuz I see it even like my brother's younger than me, significantly younger than me. It's a different mother, same father. And like the way he is way different. You know what I mean? And now there's like kids, the generations coming up under him. I feel like some of these lessons aren't as passed on anymore, and I don't know the exact reason why, but I feel like the importance of some of this has gone to the wayside, and I get worried about like what the world's going to look like.
The younger, I want to say this like whatever. My son, his mom. I don't give a shit if she listens. She's the smothering, the coddling. He'll blame the coach or he plays hockey, and it's like, yo, fuck that, man. Like, go,
Yeah.
yo, and I'm not like that dad. Like, no, work out. Like, no, but like, it's on you.
Yeah.
Come on. He's 13 at this age, man. Like, that's the worst age to treat that. Like, high school is gonna be like, very difficult. Like,
Yeah.
I hear that from kids all the time when they all coaching. Like, no, or whatever. If you were a better player, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
No, really, I don't give a fuck
Yeah.
if it's a coach's son. If you're dunking on dudes, it don't matter, dog. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
politics, people use the politics way too much. Make it undeniable.
And it's not just sports, but every aspect of life.
Make it undeniable. And yes, one door is closed, find another.
Yeah.
There's no excuses, man. None.
Yeah.
None. You want it, you get it. If you really, really want it. So the reason I mentioned the ego thing to, go back to that, like, forget the other thing, is like rappers get a little, or I use rappers because it's so easy. I deal with it.
And it's
I
the
see
world
it.
you're in, yeah. So.
But in the arrogance, that's what you're supposed to be as a rapper.
Yeah.
But like they get so easily overconfident, cocky, which is fine on the MC bravado. But when it comes to real life, they're burning bridges and they're not handling business correctly. And then because of that ego, it's insecurity. Because of that, like when I get something from somebody or when I see a mural in Europe with my face on it, and that's fucking, dog, I'm like tripping out. I'm taking pictures. I'm sending it to everybody I know. But motherfucker, nobody gives a shit when I come back here. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
It's like Bronxtown. Nobody cares. That's good for like a couple minutes. That's cool. Great.
Yeah.
The man, listen, I'm not selling 1 million records. That don't.
Yeah.
But that's fucking dope. I also cherish it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
But that shit don't mean nothing for the next thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. That's it. That's the mentality. That's why we keep moving forward, man. Like, it's like, on to the next thing. On to the next thing.
Yeah. Gotta keep that hustle up. I know you gotta.
I gotta skate, man. No, but I don't want to cut it off, man.
No. We can do another one down the road. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I know you got a studio appointment and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, real quick, I know you sent me that Reaganomics video, which was dope. You had Lodge Professor and Rascas.
Yeah,
and that. I haven't seen him in a long time or seen anything from him. But how did that come together? And where could people find that? Or just kind of give some general information out so that, people can find your music.
Reaganomics was produced by B Leaves. Really, really great kid. He got us on the record. Lodge Pro, Rascas, and Elzai from Slum Village. Man, that's a crazy lineup for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can check my music out at mdotboston, and it's man, we have a lot of music coming. We have the record with Pete Rock out right now, The Atonement, Ego and the Enemy's out that we talked about. Everything's at mdotboston.
Is it M dash or just MD?
When it's at the ad, it's MDOT Boston. But if you look it up on YouTube, M dash DOT. But I'm producing now. I'm still like, kind of like thinking about this, but I'm thinking about Jake LaDotta is going to be the producer name, but I still want to move forward with the MC name, of course, but I wanted to have it as a separate entity because I know I've been doing the M-Dot thing for 20 years, and I know there's other M-Dots. Even when I started, I will say that I was the first, but it doesn't matter. You Google it, and there's probably other M-Dots, but you can tell which genre and which one I am for sure, and who I associate with in the music and stuff, but M-Dot, MDOT Boston. And then Jake LaDotta is the production name, and we have a lot of stuff coming with the producing. But the MC stuff, the Ego and the Enemy 2 is what we're working on.
Yeah.
Me and Big Shug have like an album that we're sitting on like 10 songs or something. We got to finish that. But yeah, man, thank you.
Yeah.
It's been awesome.
No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And then, everyone, you can check the show notes, and I'll have all these links in there. And then, it's easier to find that. But yeah, man, let's do it again sometime, and wish you well. And I wish you well on your musical endeavor tonight. I know you're heading over to the studio.
I appreciate it, man. And I appreciate you, and I want to do this again.
Yeah, absolutely,
100%.
man. Absolutely. Let me shut this off here, and then we'll go from there.